Hi, what's up everyone? This is Shravan. Welcome to another vlog. You might be wondering how come I'm on Himalayan today. The thing is, today I'm going to give my brother's bike for service. He took my Dominar and he went to office. As mine is work from home, I thought I will go and give his bike for service. This is almost 10,000 kilometers done, and it is its third free service. So I thought I will just have a ride and give you guys a small review. I was using this Himalayan now and then, occasionally here and there. Not like completely, but yeah, now and then I was using this. I just wanted to share my user review, like how it feels when I'm sitting on this bike and riding within the city or for the long tours or anywhere. Starting with, as you all guys know, this is one of the best adventure tour motorcycle available in market right now, which is competing with KTM Duke 390 and BMW GS. Compared to them, this one has many advantages. The ride comfort on Himalayan is way too good than compared to any other bike because of this long travel suspension, high ground clearance and all, which you will not be getting on 390 and 390 Adventure and GS 310. The moment you sit on this will be like you are sitting on a full commanding position. I really like this position, and it is very comfortable to ride for a long distance. Means you won't feel that tiredness. For my Dominar, somewhat after 400 kilometers I feel a bit of tiredness, and I definitely needed a break for at least 10-15 minutes. But with this bike, guys, you can run it all day long in a proper cruising speed. If you set it up at 80 kilometers per hour, you can cruise all day long. As I told you in our riding group, most of them are Himalayans only, and it is way too comfortable. Even the seat is very much comfortable. You will be feeling like you are literally sitting on a sofa. I really like the seat of Himalayan. Yeah, and other than that, the ideal cruising speed for this bike would be 90 to 100, and the top speed is around 125. Beyond that, you will experience lot of wind blast, lot of vibration. Anyway, Royal Enfield means definitely there will be a vibration, but yeah, it will be way too much. Once you stop your bike, you can feel your hands are freezed, sort of thing. Even the instrument cluster, everything, it offers lot of information. As you guys can see, there is a compass, there is this analog fuel gauge, RPM, speedometer. Along with that, it will show you a temperature, gear shift indicator, trip 1, trip 2, odometer, and a clock. So it provides at max whatever information you needed, basically. But when it comes to Dominar, it will be like a power cruiser. So just twist the throttle and you will be flying off. I always needed that adrenaline rush, so I preferred to get Dominar. Though initially I had plan of getting the Himalayan, but yeah, later I changed my mind and I thought like that will be a proper bike for my needs. The sitting posture on this Himalayan is way too good. I know I'm repeating it, but yeah, that is the one good thing about this bike. Coming to the braking and all, the feedback I'm getting from these brakes is very bad. Sorry to say that, but after using the Dominar, if you ask me, the feedback of this brakes, both front and back brakes, is not up to the mark, I would say. That is one thing about this one. And what I am riding is the BS4 version, and this doesn't have the switchable ABS also, so during off-road conditions the ABS will be keep on kicking in. It's not like that KTM where you can turn off the ABS for off-road expenditure and all. And coming to the heating part, I don't think there is much of any heating unless you keep it below the RPMs of 3000 to 4000. If you go beyond that and if you are over revving the engine, obviously this will get heated up, because it's just an oil cooled engine. It will get an oil cooled radiator. So heating wise I wouldn't say much, because I never faced an issue of heating for whatever ride I did on this Himalayan. And the other one is these mirrors. These are really useless. Most of the time you can see yourself with a lot of vibration. It will keep on vibrating only. Either you need to replace the mirrors with something much better. Many of the guys replace those mirrors with Avengers mirrors, which is wide enough and which won't be shaking a lot. Once you cross 60 km/h, the mirrors will literally vibrate like anything. You won't even get a proper glimpse of what is coming behind you, whether you should take right, left or anything. Now I'm doing a proper off-road patch. It is still way too comfortable. This bike can literally fly over any type of pothole, any type of patchy roads, guys. You don't need to worry about your back at all I am saying. That is the same thing with my Dominar, means I can literally feel each and every stone hitting my tire. But this baby is not like that. It will just fly off on any type of patchy roads. As you guys can see, I'm on the patchy road right now. I'm revving it up. Still I couldn't find any type of misbalance or any type of uncomfortableness while riding it on this patchy roads. That is one good thing about this bike. That is the Royal Enfield Service Center over there, but we'll go little bit. I think anyway they will open around 9 o'clock, so we still have another 10 minutes of time. We can continue with whatever we are doing. Right now I'm in Koramangala. Third free service of this Himalayan will be around 10,000 kilometers or less than a year. So it's almost an year, and it is just 300 kilometers away from 10,000 kilometers mark. All our bikes will always be on a scheduled maintenance. We will never skip the schedule where we need to give it for service or do any part replaces or anything. End of the day, it is something we are going to sit on it and ride, and yeah, we never wanted to take any risk for that. So it's always good. One more thing, I don't know how accurate is this compass and the temperature gauge on this. Please comment down below if it is properly accurate. It shows actual figures. Maybe my buddies can help me out with this. Buddies, please comment down below. Sagar, Harsha, all you guys, just let me know. One more thing is about the fuel range. I really don't know how much range it is giving for one full tank. That I need to check with my brother and get back to you guys. I hope it will be giving somewhere around 350 to 400 kilometers for one complete full tank. Ideally that is how it should be, because my Dominar is giving me around 360 kilometers for one full tank. And coming to the aerodynamics and ergonomics, Uh, I don't know whether this windshield is serving its purpose, but yeah, I couldn't feel much of the wind blast on my chest, but I can still feel it on my head area, on my face and all. I can still have a good, I can still feel a good wind blast. Again, we are on this patchy road. If you guys can see, it can easily fly off this patchy road. That is how it is. Even the Seat tires serve their purpose. Many of the Himalayan users will always keep their tires stock because they actually serve the purpose of what they are meant for. They don't need to replace it right over this. So the pickup is also good. It's very good. Though the torque and the BHP figures are very less compared to Dominar or else KTM or anything, but still the pull is very good on this. So that is what my initial impression, and that is what my user experience with this bike. We reach the service center and catch you guys later. He's taking it for a test ride. I gave whatever complaints I need to tell, and he's going to check it out, and he will get back to us. As of now, it's just the third service, so the basic mandatory things which need to be changed, that we are changing it. Other than that, same like my Dominar, for this also we need to replace the clutch cable, it seems.
Yes.
Yeah, so we will do that as well, and we will be waiting anyway. He said we will be. So what are the changes we are doing right now?
Sir, third phase there is oil change,
Okay.
oil filter,
Yes.
chain adjustment or lubing and consumable.
Correct.
EB consumable, yeah.
Okay.
Front brake not sharp.
Not sharp.
A complaint only.
Okay.
Or clutch cable replace. Approximate 1500 ಒಳಗಡೆ.
Sure. So the approximate value is 1500, which is pretty decent enough. So cool. We'll wait and we'll get it done. After 1 hour of waiting, now it is going to enter into the bay. That's a pretty huge time that it's gone through. As you guys can see, that is where our bike is. They are checking with the fork settings and all. Just now they did with the chain loop. After that they are doing the fork setting. Oil change is already done. The place was so congested, so I couldn't go further this line and shoot it properly, because that will be a blocking area for them, because the way they have is by only this, by this small way they need to take all the bikes and all out. So that is one thing. It's done. I think now it is going for water wash, I guess. Everything is done, guys. Even the water wash is also done. Just now it came out. Now they will do some air blow on it, so that all the watermarks and the leftover water can go away. So we are done here. Everything is done. They are just cleaning it off. I paid almost around 1300 rupees for the whole service. It took almost like 3 hours now. There are few other parts also need to be replaced, so it's like it took a bit of time. I hope there will not be any problem for another 5000 kilometers of this. मास्क फोटो लेने मास्क पहनना है. No. 3 to 5 kilometers because of polish, polish. Yeah, so guys, we are done with the service, 10,000 kilometers service. Things which got replaced, the first thing is oil, followed by oil filter, then the clutch cable, and even the accelerator wire and all got lubed and checked thoroughly. Brake pads and all are checked, there was no need of replacement and all. The front fork is also adjusted, there was a bit lag and loose in the front brake, so that was also taken care. It costed just 1300 bucks guys, not more than that. I didn't expect it will be that completely free. Only for the engine oil they took the price, and for the oil filter. The remaining all were replaced without any cost. Neither they didn't took the consumable fees as well. Even the chain lube and chain clean was also free. As I told, only for the oil and oil filter they took the charge, because those will come under wear and tear. Remaining all it is completely free. That's good. Royal Enfield third service costed only 1200 bucks. It is 1224 rupees to be precise. This baby is ready for another 5000 kilometers of heavy beating. Later again the periodic fourth service will be done after 5000 kilometers. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. This is Shravan signing off. See you in the next vlog.